Hmm. Hey, Justin, how's it going? You're such a Gerard. Sorry, I don't really understand the reference. Company, Berta. Good girl.
Hey Zip, how's it going? Hello, hello. Thanks for showing up. I suppose that there's a few of you watching now. I decided to do something a little different tonight. Thank you. Nice vibes. What would I call these guys? There's got to be a better. Oki needed my Sega Saturn knowledge today. Hope I'm adjusting well to my new job. Yeah, I'm adjusting pretty well. Although I think my boss got fired today. Pretty upsetting thing happened to her, and she left midway through. She was crying, like she just got done hiring me, right? And yeah, I guess somebody from corporate came on by, and I think he let her go because something happened to her store, and I think they need somebody to take responsibility. Feel terrible for her. Yeah, what did I call it? How come Oki needed my Sega Saturn knowledge? I didn't take a look at this morning's video. Something about the big three in terms of RPGs out at that time on the Sega Saturn? No. Let's see. The big three of RPGs on the Saturn. Can't really tell, as I have very little knowledge on Saturn games. I could probably refer to some of my magazines talking about the games that have come out. Actually, let me see. Magazines, right? Take a look at issue 108 of EGM. It's got something in there. Sega Saturn. Oh, he's Shining Force 3, I guess. I'm not sure. Take a look at games that could be ordered at the time. Let's see, Saturn games. Call for Sega Saturn games. Yeah, they were so unpopular that even the catalogs that you could order the games from didn't even list them. Now that's funny. Let's see. Imports. Yeah, Phantasy Star Collection. They had Grandia on there. Yeah, then that would be a good one. Although Grandia was also on the PlayStation. There's the Secrets to Quest 64. Top picks of the month at that time were Panzer Dragoon Saga, Burning Rangers, Winter Heat, Street Fighter Collection, and Saturn Bomberman. I don't think any of those were actually RPGs, though. Yeah, Burning Rangers had just come out, got good reviews, but I think it was just an action game. It wasn't an RPG. A bunch of N64 games were coming out at the time. big old spread. Square Enix games. Or not Square Enix, sorry. Square Electronic Arts. Hey Shin, how's it going? Oh yeah. I don't recall the Saturn actually having like its own designated Phantasy Star game other than Phantasy Star Collection. So like all the previous games had probably come out for it, and I think those might have been imports. Because I think like all of the I think PlayStation like gobbled up all of the RPGs. Yeah. So I started giving out little hints in Discords and in chats, quoting Gandalf, saying, "Expect my coming on the 5th day. At first light, look to the east," to indicate that I would be coming back Friday morning. So, yes, you heard it from my mouth. I will be available Friday morning, unless, of course, by some random happenstance, I am absolutely needed at work. I should be available. So, yep. I don't think they would call me in for anything considering that I'm still in training. So I'm not essential. Not at the moment. But hey, I took the initiative and spoke to some customers today, all on my own. And got one person to pick out a pair of glasses that she'd like to purchase when she comes back. After she consults with the doctor at another at like a clinic. I guess she has to have some tests done first before she can make a decision, but yeah, saved the information to her profile, did it all on my own, felt pretty good. Impressed the people that I was working with. Let's see, Shin says, but the Phantasy Star collection on Saturn was tight, like slightly retweak and balanced. Was it now? Okay, I did not know that. I have very little experience with Phantasy Star games, with the exception of Phantasy Star 4 on the Genesis, which I have in the next one. I really enjoy playing that. I always seem to start a new game every time that I play. And I play a little while, play for a little bit, put a few hours in, and then I just kind of put it down. I don't have the same drive to play that game as I did with like Final Fantasy VI. TL talking to customers. Applebee's got rats. All right, let's see. Should I write down next? Armor and ability. Oh shit, I forgot to. Damn this fucking mouse. I need to get a different one. It's going crazy and I don't know why. What the hell happened? Something underneath it? Is it a cat hair? Oh no, it's just going fucking wild on me. All right. Goodness, I can't use this. All right, folks, give me a moment, please. Be right back. Good idea. Yo, PC, how do you even know that? Oh, okay. You off? There we go. Ooh, these are. There. I think this keyboard stopped using for a particular reason. Might have to do with like a faulty A key, possibly. Oh well, figure it out once I start using it. For some odd reason, I don't throw away the shit that I bought. That doesn't work. Alright, much better. Let's see. You know who's having a bad day or a bad week? Day traders. Stocks are going down the drain, as well as people's investments. Yeah, I never invested anything in my life. Teams. Does that beat? Okay. I'm not used to this keyboard. I think I got it with this PC back in 2017, but like, never used it. I'm pretty certain there was a reason why I never used it. Whoa. Okay. Who's the first one to win your button? Okay. Alicia's here, Val. Whoa. Okay. Maybe that was the reason. Okay. Yeah, I think that was the reason why I didn't use this keyboard. Is that some of the keys, like the C key in particular, is fucking weird. Okay. Let's see. Is ability. This is 2021. This is good. Fuck, these rules are already good. I don't know why I just don't use these. Or at least let me double check here. So, as I may have told you guys before, I have a prototype board game. And let's see, how much of this do I have? Super very sleepy but delirious, so it's super fun. Okay. Well, maybe I'll give up working on this. I already have rules that are so much better than what I'm thinking of right now. I'm always coming back to this and thinking, oh yeah, well, I can work on it, improve it, but I've worked on various editions of my board game ideas like so many times. I just have to go back over my old notes. Life is good. Moon's almost full. Oh yeah. I haven't been outside since I came back from the bar. Got the Advia Zep. Donkey Lips is live. Wait, Donkey Lips is live? Dude, Justin, you're not making any sense. Okay. So, anyway, my board game, right? My board game is kind of like Risk. There are 6 factions to choose from right off the bat. There are 6 others that I also developed for additional content or future content. Each faction starts out in a particular part of the world, and they originate on their capitals of their nations. You have a commander and 2 generals, as well as 3 separate units composed of light, medium, and heavy troops. Now, your commanders and generals are considered leadership, and they must be attached to a unit. They must be attached to a troop that already does not have leadership attached to it. So that means you cannot have 2 generals, or you cannot have a general and a commander. They have to stay separate. How generals work is that generals provide a constant bonus to the troops, or leadership just in general provides bonuses to their troops. A commander has better bonuses and better special abilities, as well as something called a countermeasure. That means that if you suffer too many losses, a special effect goes into play. And if one of your units is defeated in combat that has a general in there, that general is removed from play, but they can be returned if you have a troop visit a particular location, or maybe cast a spell that can bring them back. Anytime that a unit with your commander is defeated, your commander must be reassigned to another troop that does not have leadership. If they cannot do so, then your commander is defeated. That's one way of tabling your foe. There are different objectives that can be achieved to win the game. Either you can defeat the enemy player's commander, you could capture so many cities, or there's something called destiny, and there's randomly drawn destiny cards, which is like your secret objective. And then you also have your commander's initiative, which is your commander's army has to perform these particular tasks in order to win. So there's 3 different ways of winning the game. Now, the way that the game plays is, say like it's your turn, you get to move your troops around. And there are, by default, in my original game, 13 regions per nation. And you can move your units 1 region at a time. Now, when you move into a region that is unoccupied by anybody else, then you may choose to exploit that region, and you draw like an exploitation card or discovery card, whatever you want to call them. And you will either uncover a location, an item, or a resource, I should say. A location, a resource, or an event. Or sorry, not a resource. Resources are its own thing. You'll either uncover a location, an event, or a special character. Special characters are just like generals. However, they do not provide any bonuses to weapon, shield, and armor. They just provide a special effect. So your commander, they grant additional weapon, shield, and armor, as well as a special effect and a countermeasure, and they have initiative. Generals just provide some bonuses and a special effect or special ability, and then characters only provide special abilities, and you can attach them to your units just like your leadership. Now, when your unit is in a location, when your unit is on a region that doesn't have anybody else in there, you control that region. And if somebody else moves their unit into yours, it is now contested. And once that person's turn who's moved in there, once their turn is about to end, then you go into a combat phase. Rolling dice to see who gets better attacks and who gets better defenses. Now, as you are as you have your faction moving across the landscape, you can draw those exploit cards, like I said. If they are things that you cannot collect, then they just stay there. So if you're in a unit that can't take a character, that character just stays there until somebody shows up and takes it. Although I'm thinking that you may be able to just assign them to any one of your units. Not all events that happen are beneficial, and not all locations are beneficial. Let's see. Characters, for the most part, are. They are always good to have. There's also a resource deck and a magic deck. Resources are items that you can equip to units, and spells are just something that you can cast whatever the hell you want. in terms of those countermeasures, I'll give an example. So the Undead Scourge of Etheria, they have something called March of the Deadland. And so whenever Etheria's faction suffers too many losses, the way that the story goes is that there's an island off the southeastern coast of the continent of Lancetia. And that island has been plagued by undead corruption for so long that the undead energies and organisms, which are able to take over both organic and inorganic matter, have corrupted the entire island and turned it into one massive undead organism, which rips itself off the planet. So imagine the island of Hawaii, or like Oahu. Imagine Oahu ripping itself out of the Pacific Ocean and then stomping across the world, just spreading plague and disease and corrupting everything. And when it comes into play, it shows up on a region next to a coastline, next to the ocean, and whatever it sits there, it's just gone. If it moves somewhere, not only does it destroy everything that it's underneath, but it attacks everything else that's around it. It's a rather devastating countermeasure. So every time Etheria takes losses, or takes extreme levels of losses, she can move the Deadland. And her other ability, her ability that she grants to her whole army, is that whenever she defeats an enemy unit, she takes them as a light troop. So she's constantly replenishing her forces, turning them into undead servants. Now, normally, troops can only be spawned out of either capitals or city locations that are discovered by exploiting territories. But in the case of Tyberia, the Mother of Monsters, her faction ability is that her units can spawn in whatever country or in whatever nation she's currently occupying. So she doesn't have the restriction of only being able to spawn out of a single spot. She can spawn where the hell she wants. And her whole thing is, whenever she suffers too many losses, she summons the 6 primal elementals, and you get to attack up to six different targets, or you can attack like the same target 6 times, or up to 6 times. So that's pretty nasty for her. Then you've got other characters like Face and Jaya. Her whole thing is that she always has at least 1 magic spell in her hand. So if you cast your one and only spell that you have, you get to draw a new one for free, no matter what. So she can sling the shit out of magic spells. Makes her very dangerous, since there's a lot of like powerful magic in there. And then her countermeasure is, if she suffers too many losses, then she automatically draws 3 spells plus 1 additional spell for each of her generals still in play. So she could draw up to 5 spells if she loses too many guys. So there's an example of that. And then Alicia Siervel, she's like the same thing but with resources. Like, she can always equip a resource. And or like she always has a resource in her hand that she can give to somebody. If she suffers too many losses, then she just pulls out more resources and hands them out to her troops. Now, the only way that you can fight another enemy is if you move like one of your units into a controlled space. In the case of Oberon, he grants a special ability that says that all of his units can attack from one region away. When my old buddy Odie used to play my board game with me, he loved playing Oberon. That was his favorite tactic, was being able to just attack from a distance. And his whole countermeasure was, well, after suffering too many losses, he summons the flagship Ingelheim, where you just center it over whatever region that you want, and it fucking instantly nukes whatever is there. No save against it. You don't get to defend. If it is a location with a unit and your commander on top of it, they're just fucking dead. The commander gets to respawn somewhere, but everything there gets obliterated. So, Oberon, the Astral Fathers faction was really cool to play. Akumajin's, his was that he is such a good attacker that his army never rolls less than 2 to attack. So, or maybe it was 3. Never rolls less than 3. I forget. It's one of those, which gives them like a huge advantage on attack rolls. I think it's 3. Yeah. You never roll less than 3. And his countermeasure is that when you suffer too many losses, you can just choose to keep taking losses, and for every unit you sacrifice, you can kill like a number of other enemy units out in the field. Now, it's a little more powerful than that, I believe. Because of, actually, no. I think it's a 1. I'd have to take a look at those rules again. But that's like the skinny of it. Now, like, the whole combat mechanic of the game runs off of weapon, shield, armor. Your weapon is your attack roll, your shield is your defense roll, and your armor is... Well, it used to be that you had to roll... Well, armor used to be like hit points, but I've essentially changed it to being like a save, meaning, oh, I took damage. Let's see if I survive this. Yeah, for weapon, like you roll your die, or sorry, yeah, for weapon, say like Akumajin has a weapon of 3, and he goes into another unit that has like a weapon of 2. Then he becomes a weapon of 5, which means he rolls a d12, and he never rolls lower than 3. Now he has to roll higher than the enemy's defense. So he might be rolling against a d4, d6, d8, d10, d12, right? But he has a really good chance of wounding somebody. In the case of his general, Brid, the Burning Bride, is his demon queen. Like when she attacks with her units, as long as she deals damage, the enemy unit doesn't get to use armor. They just take the hit. Or no, that wasn't it. That was somebody else maybe. I think that might have actually been a special character. If I'm not mistaken, her thing is that if she rolls the same on her attack roll as the enemy's defense, because ties go to the defender, in her case, ties go to the attacker. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I will. I'll work on this another time. But I'll take a look at all of my previous rules and combine it together. I don't know. Would you guys ever like to play a Risk-like board game? Do you like games like those, where it's area control? You have a couple different objectives to win. My original prototype that I have has some rather horrendous rules. It plays very much like I had just explained, like almost identical, with the exception of armor, because in the old rules it's more like hit points, and you're only able to move one unit at a time. I had my board game like last up to 8 hours playing it. And I know I've shown some of you what my original board looked like, which I made by going over to like a FedEx shop, and I just used different colored beads to represent my units. I always wanted to use my 3D printer that my buddy has out in the garage to make custom tokens, character models for my game. I don't know, I'm just often too stressed out to work on this stuff. Like, my games are my passion. I really wish I could do all of this as a team. Not to say that I want to be a team. I'd like to share the endeavor with others. I don't know. I just don't have like the drive to do everything by myself. 20 years ago I did. Anyway, I'm going to stop streaming this. I'm going to go into the next room and I'm going to go play some Isle. I'm going to go be a dinosaur. You're welcome to join me for that, but I'm going to kill this stream. Yeah, shoot me a message in between. I'll talk to you guys a little bit.